All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Hexbug JunkBots Pierre. Yeah, I previously did a review of a set of these guys, kind of looking at the concept as a whole. If you're unfamiliar, JunkBots are a sub-brand of the Hexbug brand. That's basically a little line of buildable, little customizable robots that are made out of various pieces of junk and garbage and stuff like that. And I really like these guys, so I thought it could be fun to do some individual reviews and kind of do a bit of more of a deep dive on some of them as individuals. And yeah, today we are taking a look at Pierre, who he's a little walrus here. And he's got a little beret, so he's a French walrus, which is why his name is Pierre. The main body that he's sort of composed of here is a little arcade machine, which is really cute. It's got some nice detail there on the back, a little 1984 on the screen there. You tend to see 1984 on like BotBots a lot because it's the year that the Transformers came out. Hexbug is not made by Hasbro, so I'm not really sure what the 1984 on him is referencing because it's not like these guys are transforming or anything like that. So not sure. If you have any idea, let me know what that could be referencing. But yeah, still cute either way. A little game of Pong there that is clearly very one-sided. If one side has 19 points and the other side has 84 points. But yeah, he's pretty cute. In terms of his articulation and stuff like that, most of these guys, they're all built with like ball joints and stuff like that. So the majority of the joints are ball joints. On his one little flipper here, he's got a little piece of scrap metal and then a little bit of, abstract machinery there. So there's a ball joint up here and a ball joint at the flipper itself so it can move around like that. The other flipper is just one solid piece. It's just a bent piece of scrap metal. You just saw it there. It's connected up here at the top. His little tusks here are also little pieces of metal. Because they're kind of connected at an angle, you can rotate them so they kind of stick a bit more forward for, some variety of expression there. Well, although because he's a walrus, they really should be sticking a bit more down. His eye here, you've got some options with. It's a little bit oblong, so like if you rotate it to the side, it does change the like look of it a little bit. But you can also bend it back and forth like that because again, just a lot of ball joints on these guys. He's got a little periscope up here that you can move around on the ball joint. We'll get to that little mechanism in a bit. What's kind of fun is his little joystick on the machine here is also on a ball joint, so you can move that around. Pretty cool. He's got this little piece for the back flipper here. Because this is connected with like two ball joints, you don't really get much movement or rotation out of that. Although the piece itself does actually have like a clicky joint in the middle of it, which I feel like could probably be more useful on other versions of that, like other uses of that piece on different guys, but it works well enough on him. And then as you saw there, both of his little flipper pieces here, which are a broom and dustpan, which I think is really clever, are also on ball joints, so you can maneuver those around a little bit. So yeah, pretty good. Here he is with his little instruction sheet where they show you the full build and then how to put them together. Pretty simple with these guys. He's got, a variety of uses with the little modules. These sets come with. What's kind of fun about these guys and how they tie into the Hexbug brand is there's a little bit of like motorized mechanics with them. So each set comes with two modules. Usually you get like one of these little LED light modules. And you get one of these little motor modules, which I've seen two different versions of. I mean, they're not really supposed to be the same thing, but this one actually has like a little motor and gear, and this one is just like a little vibrating section. I'm not sure if there's like another light section that you have the option of getting either. This is the only one I've seen in all the sets that I've got. So I'll show him off with each of these. For the motor function, he's got his connection is on the bottom here, so you can just connect the ball joint there and then plug in the motor, and then when you flip it on, the little periscope and his beret kind of go up and down, and that's adorable. I really like that functionality. It's subtle and it's really cute, and I think it works well. What's one thing that's worth mentioning is that like he sort of has to be propped up on his fins so that this piece doesn't hit the ground. It works well just fine on him, but if you're using this arcade piece on like a different build where it was sitting directly on the ground, it definitely would not be able to connect to any of the modules, kind of making it sit off the ground like that. In terms of the vibrating one, I mean, you can plug it wherever, but that's a good place for it. And, it works fine. It's very loud, of course, and because he's got kind of like a firm base on the ground, it doesn't really make him like jitter around quite as much as some of the other ones do with the vibrating piece. So I don't know if that works quite as well with this one, but that's an option. And then the LED piece, because it's on the bottom here and he's got all these tubes, like it really doesn't work with him because you kind of have to like, you know, prop him up off the ground. But in terms of where the little LED things can plug in, he's got holes like this on either side of the arcade machine that kind of light up the screen and the buttons. So you can do that. Put them in a variety of different spots here and turn that on. And it, you know, lights up the screen. Pretty cool, works pretty well. You also have another one down here to kind of light up the lower section of the buttons. I sort of wish there was another option for one higher up here so it could kind of get the 1984 a bit better, because really it only lights up kind of the bottom part of the screen here. But, you know, it still works well enough. And then in terms of his other pieces, you could plug one into his little eye here, that works. And you could plug one into his little periscope, which is kind of hard to reach if you've got it on the bottom here. And again, you know, can't really sit with it like that, but that's kind of cute. It works. If you really wanted to, because, you know, the LED piece doesn't have to be plugged in like anywhere in particular, it just has to attach somewhere. You could just like take out the joystick and then, you know, plug it onto the back there. It kind of hides the little arcade machine thing, but, you know, with him, he kind of just uses it as like a body shape. It'd be cool to get another version of this guy so I could take it apart and, you know, have a robot that has the body like a little bit more apparent, because for him, you know, you're really looking at the machine from behind, but, you know, still, so you can plug in the LED the thing there, and it gives him a little like mad scientist walrus look. I think that's pretty cute. So yeah, I think that out of the three modules, the one that works the best with him is the motor module. The LED one works all right, but again, it doesn't really work with where it's supposed to plug in unless you're, you know, wanting to take the little joystick off. So it works well enough. In terms of size comparison, here he is with a core class transformer and a G1 transformer. Here he is with a BotBot, just for fun. And here he is with the poster child of the JunkBots, Mr. Jack Static himself, just so you can see how they look together. And yeah, what's kind of fun about these guys in general is if you have anyone that you don't really like, that means like, you know, you can just take it apart and use those pieces in your own creations, which I think is really fun. So it's nice, even if you get repeats of these guys, then you can still, you know, use the parts in different ways rather than just having a wasted guy, because they are like blind packed in sets of 4 and stuff like that. So for these reviews, I think I'm going to be rating these guys each on kind of like, you know, whether I'd want to keep them as is or scrap them and use them for parts, or edit, which is kind of, you know, varying degrees in between there, where it's like I mostly like it, but I've got some alterations I like to make. And I think with Pierre, I think he's a solid keep. There's really not much I would change about him. I think that the way that they've kind of put the parts on here, I think they've pretty much knocked it out of the park. Obviously, you know, if you want to attach the light module to him, I would say edit and take out this piece and put it there. But, you know, just on his own, I think he sits well, all right by himself. Here he is with one of the little pieces of garbage that can possibly come in one of the dumpsters that they come in. I think that one works particularly well with him, just because he's a, you know, kind of aquatic themed little dead fish and a little walrus. It's cute. But yeah, you know, that's pretty much all I have to say about him. He's not, you know, he's a pretty good little junk bot. I like these guys a lot, and like I said, the fun of them is even if you get one that you don't like, then you can just take it apart and use those parts for you know, your own creations. But yeah, that's all I have to say about them. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have Hexbug JunkBots Pierre.